Welcome to Buffalo Camp Day Recap. I'm Thad Brown along with AJ Feldman. Today, camp practice number 9, all done for the Buffalo Bills. They will leave St. John Fisher and be gone from this campus for a couple days. The thing that stood out to me most today, we've seen the Bills in pads for a few days, but today we got our first full go, full tackle session. This is a traditional thing for Bills camp. The only time the guys will go full go in practice is on a goal line drill. So today, end of practice, Sean McDermott walked up, put the ball on the 1 yard line and said, everybody, let's go. The first team had 6 reps in the goal line. They scored 4 touchdowns out of 6. Zack Moss got the first 3 reps, which to me I think was notable. You know, I thought at the end of last year, Devin Singletary was having a lot of success being the guy to convert inside the 5 on those types of plays, but Zack Moss was the first guy in on from the 1 yard line. Got stopped in the first play, scored in the second. Third one was a play action pass for what it's worth. After that, Singletary did come in. He took the second 3 reps. He also got 2 carries. He also got stoned by Terrell Dodson, who just made an amazing play on the first Devin Singletary try to absolutely keep Singletary from getting in the end zone. Devin had a nice cutback to score in his second try. And the third one, you know, AJ, what was the third one?
I do have it. It was
it was the Isaiah McKenzie. McKenzie, yeah. So Isaiah McKenzie ran, you know, one of those plays where he goes in motion as if he's about to take a quick pass or a jet sweep, and then circles back around. It becomes a swing pass. That play last year was butter in short yardage, and again, it worked today. So it's fun for us to see these guys go full out. Again, I want to go back to the Dotson play. You know, this is the guy that has been consistent as a backup linebacker. I've called him, you know, the best backup in the NFL. I will stand by that. I think he's at least one of them, and he showed why. I mean, it was, you know, not first-team safeties and linebackers against first-team offense. Granted, not first-team offensive line because so many guys are still hurt, but he stepped up and made, you know, a really, really strong play in that situation. One other note, the Dawson Knox play-action pass was against second-team linebackers and third-team safeties. I thought that was kind of unfair, and like a little candy from a baby kind of thing there. But whatever, offense, you know, looked okay in that spot. The offense has not looked very good, AJ, for most of this camp. And today, generally, wasn't much different. Josh Allen had a deep ball to Gabe Davis early, a deep ball to Khalil Shakir, who I think this is the first time he's caught a pass from Josh Allen this camp. In between, it was the same general pile of mediocre, mostly semi-garbage that we've seen so far in camp, except for one drill today.
Yeah, the one-on-ones to start practice, not at the goal line like they've been in the past. They were, you know, full field one-on-ones on the sideline. Wide receivers, they were just torching the DBs all practice long. You know, you could probably go down the list. Every single player had a really nice play. Isaiah McKenzie burned Cam Lewis with a nice go, little move to break free. Jamison Crowder had a really nice back shoulder catch. Davis with a long touchdown over Dane Jackson. Diggs, he got Dane Jackson to slip a little bit. You know, it was a little bit wet to start the practice a little bit. Right. Then he made a really nice one-handed catch, which got the crowd going. But, you know, like you said, the offense has struggled at times. You know, today, especially the second and third team, a lot of hospital balls, a lot of ambulance balls getting thrown over the middle of that field there. But in the one-on-ones, when they have time to throw, obviously against nobody, they were looking pretty darn good today.
Another guy that stood out to me today was rookie linebacker Balin Spector. Had an interception in third team against Matt Barkley, a ball that was basically thrown right at him. Also, I'm pretty sure, forced a fumble on Jamison Crowder. And Crowder, you know, we've talked about his situation a little bit. Hasn't been on the field. Did participate in team drills today, not with the first team. But he got a shot today and fumbled the ball. You know, I mean, I know this is a veteran in the NFL. He's not a guy that's got a reputation of being a fumbler. But, AJ, I got to think, you know, for a guy who's battling for a spot, you can't afford, when you're just off of the injured list or the bike list, whatever you want to call it right now, to be making plays like that.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that play, I thought the play was maybe almost over at that point when the ball got knocked out. There was a lot of that today, and we'll get to that a little bit. Yeah. The plays were getting extended. The defense, you know, I think they're getting a little bit antsy, not being able to hit the people across the other side of the field. They were, you know, poking at balls, things like that. But, you know, definitely not what you want to see out of Jamison Crowder as Isaiah McKenzie's had a really strong camp, and, you know, Crowder kind of the opposite.
Yeah, talk about the fights. There was another one today. It was a play where Stefon Diggs caught a short little route, basically a dump-off route. He was almost like the safety valve play. And long after the play was over, Greg Rousseau apparently turned around and, like you said, was digging for the ball. You know, now the whistle hadn't blown. It wasn't, maybe it was borderline late, but it wasn't terrible. Stefon Diggs did not react too kindly to it. There were punches thrown. There was a large huddle that was on the field for long enough that the whole defensive sideline cleared. which is unusual. You know, you watch a baseball game, you see all the relievers run out of the bullpen. They don't do anything. That was kind of what this was. Ed Oliver was hot. Someone on Twitter said they saw him throwing a punch at Stefon Diggs as well. It has been a little bit of a theme here in camp. And today Josh Allen met with the media. Remember, the first fight in this camp, first big fight in camp, was Josh Allen against Jordan Phillips. As you'd expect, all is good right now. And Allen talked about what happened with that fight today.
Tempers fly. It was first day of pads. Camp's long, you know. I was probably in the wrong there. But, again, just trying to get some guys juiced up, ready to go. It's football. Yeah, so that's all it was. It was nothing. And I got him a box of Pro V1s for pushing him. I felt bad, but, you know, it's all in love. We're just out here trying to push each other, trying to be great. Camp's long. Sometimes it's a drag. Sometimes guys want to be anywhere but the football field, and that's just the nature of the business. You know, it's long days, short years, and knowing that this goes by so quick, we got to find ways to, you know, put our focus back into what we're doing and focus on the here and now. And you know, sometimes it's necessary. You know, good teams sometimes fight. You know, guys want it so bad. Guys are very competitive. Guys push each other. So you saw a little tempers flare again today, and again, that's all because we want to win. We want to work really hard. We want to beat the guys across from us, and that doesn't matter who it is. But it's good to see the intensity right now coming out from, you know, both sides of the football and the whole team, because, again, we just want to win football games.
So we've had fights in camp, I think, every day but the first day where there's been pads. Not all of them are all-out fisticuffs, but some sort of post-whistle issue. And, look, fights in camps are normal. Fights in camps this often is not. I've got no, you know, cause or effect here, no reason to pinpoint for why it's happening. It hasn't been the weather. I mean, today was a little bit muggy, so this has been the most uncomfortable day. It still wasn't terrible. It wasn't, you know, the sun wasn't out at all, so it wasn't like people were baking on the field. I don't know, you know, perhaps just guessing here, the pressure of being a Super Bowl team. I know it's early August, so it sounds as dumb as I'm going to say it because I got nothing else. Maybe the pressure of being a Super Bowl team is wearing a little bit. Maybe the expectations might be a better way to put it, of being that good a team are wearing. I mean, look, the offense has not been great, so I got to imagine there's some frustration building there. But it's been unusual to you know, every single day to have stop practice to break up, you know, something that's going on. It's been starters too. It hasn't been like third teamers. Everybody who's been in a fight so far, except for one issue, has been guys we're going to see on Sundays in the fall. So it's been very unusual from that point of view. Good or bad? I don't think so. It's early. Everything's early right now. I don't know if anything is good or bad. But it has been, you know, an eye-opener for sure.
Yeah, especially today. You know, they just had a walkthrough yesterday, so there wasn't any carryover from yesterday. It's not, you know, 4 days and 4 practices, things like that.
Unless the walkthrough got nasty. I guess we never know.
Maybe it did. But no, it has been very physical. I mean, we talked to Devon Miller afterwards. You know, we were maybe a little surprised that Greg Rousseau, he's always a pretty calm, you know, cordial guy, certainly when he gets in front of a podium. Von said he's been, you know, hyping him up a little bit, feeding him gunpowder and gasoline, as he said, for breakfast and lunch. So, you know, he's trying to get a little legend to him, and who knows, maybe that'll, you know, suit him well against other teams this year. But Von Miller, quote machine today. He mentioned at his first day of training camp, talking about the difficulties of dorm life at 33 years old. He mentioned the toilet paper. You know, Bills Mafia hears anything like that, they're going to, you know, respond in droves. They've been sending him toilet paper. He talked about the Rochester fans, and everybody's sending him toilet paper, plant-based toilet paper, a lot of wipes. He's just getting everything going, you know, in front of his dorm every day. He's got so much stuff. He was, you know, he's just leaving it out in the common room, I guess, for other people to have. But, you know, certainly Von certainly appreciative of what he's seen so far from Bills Mafia so far.
I mean, fans are always great, but, you know, this is just different. You know, you say one thing in front of the media, you don't even expect it to, you know, blow up like it did. It blows up, and you got fans reaching out, and so many different vibes, and so many different people that's trying to help out and, you know, make your time here great, man. I'm appreciative of it. I had some really great toilet paper. You know, just show outside of my dorm room. That was the first one. It was like a 4-pack. And then there was another 8-pack like the next day. Then there was some wipes came in the mail from some Bills fans, and it was plant-based, and, you know, it's just every day. It's like toilet paper everywhere. So I appreciate these guys.
Not much update injury-wise today. Sean McDermott did address the media. He's the only coach that really can say anything, and Sean McDermott is very good at saying lots of things and not really saying anything, and especially when it's early August and talking about injuries. But one update we did get today is that the Marquez Stevenson foot injury is going to be a week's thing. That means longer term. That means probably missing games. McDermott said he'd been having a good camp. I thought he's been having maybe a better camp than expected. I don't know if I'd call it good, but it certainly isn't unfortunate for the second-year guy who was very much in the mix to be the return man and had a chance at least to make the roster via that path. Jordan Poyer, Sean McDermott said it was a days thing, so I think the reports that he's probably good for the start of the regular season are accurate. He was on the field towards the end of practice today, had a very large arm brace on. I saw him actually signing some autographs, and he's a right-handed guy, so that the signing hand was still good. But the left arm is kind of used to hold things, and he was moving it around gingerly, but at least making some use of it. So encouraging to see him on the field at the very least, but this is definitely not a guy who's going to be, certainly I would say no way he's in practice again here at Fisher, and probably won't be on the field for a very long time. Beyond that, Ryan Bates was in full gear today, did do some individual stuff, but didn't see him once in team drills. Like we said, Jamison Crowder in team drills. Other than that, though, Micah Hyde, Saffold, Spencer Brown, all the rest of that. I didn't miss anybody, right? All the rest of that's still the same as what we've seen the last few days.
Yeah, pretty status quo. I mean, Jamison Crowder coming back more in the fold, but, that's been kind of happening all week.
All right, Sean McDermott did talk about, going back to Jordan Poyer and even Micah Hyde, kind of the situation where the Bills are at safety and how much of a worry it might be.
I'm not overly concerned. I'm always concerned when guys miss time because you need that time to practice. Whether you've been together like Micah and Jordan have or not, practice is important to performance. So, with that, we'll just see where it goes, and I think Mike will be out there a little bit more today as well.
You may have touched on this. A couple other things from practice I want to talk about. Khalil Shakir, we mentioned him earlier, did have a long catch from Josh Allen. He's a guy that has been getting first-team reps here and there. For the most part, when he's been on the field with the first team, it's a run play or it's a play where Shakir's not really involved. Today was different. Now, to be fair, it was a drill that was heavy run, and this was a play-action pass. This is the kind of, keep your defense honest while we're doing a run drill, not to overplay the run kind of thing. He did, get way behind Christian Benford. I mean, it was a good route. He was open, and he got a catch from Josh Allen, which I think is progress. But, for a guy that was a big story first 3-4 days of camp, he's really been mostly a second-teamer so far. The slot job remains Isaiah McKenzie's to lose this far into camp. Another thing, too, the guards today on the starting team for the Bills were Bobby Hart and Cody Ford, same as they were last practice. I've posted this on Twitter, much to the lament of Bills Mafia many a time. Today they were okay. They were not great, but you know what? They were terrible, especially if they're your fourth and fifth guards, which they might be. So the Bills offense had decent protection. There was a play when Ed Oliver got in scot-free as if he had started in the backfield. But for the most part, if you're thinking Bobby Hart and Cody Ford, it was better than you'd expect.
Yeah, and Josh Allen talked about, we talked about him, the offensive line, the shuffling, everything going on, the struggles to start the camp for the offense. And he had some high praise for Mitch Morse. Mitch Morse has been the only constant so far in training camp. Deion Dawkins missing for personal reasons for a couple days, but Mitch Morse has been there all the time. And, he was just talking about how he's been locked in, he's been in a zone. He even maybe implied a little bit that if there wasn't so much chaos going on, that maybe Mitch Morse wouldn't have been practicing every single day. Just the fact that they need him out there to, be that coach out there and deal with everybody else. So just some of the strongest praise I've heard from Josh Allen towards Mitch Morse today. I'm sure he appreciates having one constant there on the offensive line. It's
definitely better than zero, yeah. Morse has been pretty good and a guy that the Bills are going to need to count on all year long. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us here on Buffalo Campday Recap. Tomorrow the Bills go to Buffalo. They will practice at Highmark Stadium. Sean McDermott said today it would be more like a game situation. There'd be more, not live, but more not scripted situations, call-it type situations. So don't expect a scrimmage, but you can probably expect a little more of football-ish stuff than what we've been seeing practice-wise here at Fisher. The Bills are back in Rochester on Sunday, an 11:45 practice, the only non-9:45 start all of camp. Yes, we're very excited to sleep in. Actually, I'm not sleeping in. I got a tee time, 6:30 in the morning. And you want to play?
Nah, I'm good. I got to sleep in.
So I'll be playing golf and then showing up to do the Bills camp and all that stuff on Sunday. That's when Buffalo Campday Recap. We'll be back. It'll be Sunday afternoon. Are you doing that practice or is it Carl?
I'm on Sunday. Yeah.
So it'll be me and AJ again. So until then, For AJ Feldman, I'm Thad Brown. Remember, you can always watch Buffalo Campday Recap at RochesterFirst.com. Listen on Spotify. Thanks for doing both today. We'll see you again on Sunday.